Hello guys, I'm with my favorite president, the best president of all time.
Rapper Nicki Minaj is sharing her support for President Trump, and she says she won't stop. Watch this.
I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more.
Trump, you are in a feud with Donald Trump right now. Do you know this?
No, I don't.
Because it's very exciting.
Oh,
for
really?
me, because he doesn't like me either, and so anytime there's somebody new he doesn't like, I feel a fraternity, a brotherhood with this.
Okay.
So guys, never one to hold back when discussing politics, Samuel L. Jackson has publicly slammed Nicki Minaj's recent affiliation with Republican/MAGA figures, claiming that she may not completely understand how she is being utilized by a movement that hasn't always had her best interests in mind. Additionally, he has openly backed colleagues who have criticized the president in similarly direct words and has long expressed his opposition to Trump, making his statement more pointed than the typical celebrity back and forth. Therefore, his warning that some politicians view Nicki more as a photo op than a companion is intended to be a warning rather than merely rumors. At the heart of Jackson's criticism is a simple warning about optics as a weapon. Political actors will celebrate a high-profile black artist when it serves their image, but history, and Jackson's own experience, suggests that loyalty disappears the moment the political winds change. He claims to have recognized this tendency from his background and decades of observing political activity. For this reason, he views silence or opportunistic endorsements as complicity and urges public individuals who defy conventional political boundaries to think more clearly. To be clear, this has nothing to do with restricting someone's ability to change their mind. It's about promoting context awareness. Jackson's caution that parties pursuing optics rarely form true partnerships is further supported by his long-standing criticisms of Trump-era actions and rhetoric. Don't let short-term gain or flattering publicity obscure long-term costs. Nicki's team is undoubtedly aware of the power of celebrity influence, but it can also be abused, creating situations in which a symbol of diversity is hailed until it is no longer relevant, and then ignored without explanation. Jackson says this is a political ploy that we should all be wary of. And before we go any further, don't forget to support the channel, like, and subscribe. Watch this.
And Nicki makes a lot of cash. Not as much as Michael Dell, not quite. Not as much, but that's okay. But Nicki
is this entire situation going all the way over Nicki Minaj's brain and her spidey senses as the whole room just laughed at her and she thinks they're laughing with her?
Now, black culture is being held captive by influences, songs,
Which
and role
influences?
models. I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls.
And the best part, Nicki Minaj's recent appearances with conservative commentators and her seeming warmth toward well-known MAGA-aligned figures have sparked a wave of reaction over the past few months. Supporters contend she's just exercising her personal agency, while critics contend she's being used as a prop to polish an image of inclusion without committing to substantive policy support. The argument is therefore as much about agency as it is about strategy, which is why commentators point to instances at events and social media posts where Nicki laughed with hosts or complimented acquaintances, gestures that can read very differently depending on context, and why conservative media figures and members of Charlie Kirk's circle have been singled out for alternating between public criticism and public friendliness. These detractors point out that, up until recently, some of the same voices had been critical of Nicki when her opinions differed from theirs, and this difference feeds allegations of opportunism on both sides. While supporters emphasize the freedom to change one's mind and form new connections, which is a valid point, it doesn't eliminate the fact that political movements occasionally use celebrity endorsements for publicity rather than collaboration, a practice that observers caution can expose artists when the political landscape changes. Tabloid reports and social media speculation about Nicki's personal connections and family history have muddied the conversation. Some outlets cite real court documents. Others recycle rumors with little verification. Serious journalism makes that distinction clear, because unproven claims can damage reputations and distract from the more meaningful questions about power, policy, and representation. Anyone following this story should be checking primary sources before drawing hard conclusions. Figures like Samuel L. Jackson frame this as a warning rooted in experience, arguing that political enthusiasm for a useful blackface often fades once it stops serving immediate goals. That perspective deserves consideration alongside arguments for individual autonomy. What's unfolding around Nicki isn't simply a question of whether she was naive, calculating, or compromised. It reflects how celebrity politics works, how narratives are shaped, amplified, and weaponized. Watch this.
You're young men. You have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
Nicki, you know, we love her music. I've spoken to her several times. You know, collectively, I feel like we were a little bit disappointed with her, but I feel like she needs to spend a lot of time with Mr. Bruce Springsteen. She needs to go sit on his lap and let him speak some words of wisdom to her heart. Because somebody got her off track and she needs guidance back home.
Yes, you heard that right. Nicki Minaj's recent shift toward prominent MAGA-aligned characters has sparked a mixture of confusion, rage, and deep curiosity, prompting many more people to chime in. Given the strong opinions many of her longtime fans have about the political figures she has been spotted with, some observers argue that this move could be strategic, a bid for renewed visibility after a quieter run on the charts, while others see it as tone-deaf or even self-sabotaging. What's interesting is how this moment combines career calculus, personal associations, and the optics-driven nature of modern politics into one hotly debated headline. Furthermore, detractors draw attention to the stark contrast between her past public criticisms of Trump and her current friendship with members of his inner circle, which begs the difficult questions of whether this is a deliberate effort to increase her influence, a misinterpretation of who actually supports her, or the result of pressure from those in her personal orbit, as some commentators have conjectured without providing concrete public evidence. Samuel L. Jackson and others have framed the situation as a cautionary tale about tokenization. Political movements often embrace celebrities when they are useful, then distance themselves just as quickly. That concern isn't new. There is a long history of marginalized artists being showcased for visibility while having little real influence once the spotlight fades. Because of this, even fans who strongly support artistic freedom are questioning whether this association truly serves Nicki's long-term interests or risks undermining her cultural standing. The reaction online has been predictably volatile, some declaring her career finished, others calling for patience and context, showing how quickly public loyalty can turn in celebrity culture. A more responsible response is to separate what's actually known from what's being speculated. Weigh what is truly gained or lost by political proximity, and accept that public figures often juggle personal ties and public roles imperfectly, without jumping straight to conspiracies or character assassination. So what do you think is really behind this shift? Will she be able to reclaim fans if she changes course, or is this a permanent realignment?
And here you have it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to support the channel.